ReefBum is sponsored by Champion Lighting and Supply, Polo Reef, and Fauna Marin. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. So it's been a number of weeks since I've had no SPS in this tank. Over the last few months, I just methodically pulled out one colony after another, and made sure I didn't do too many at once. Just again, I didn't want to disrupt too many things. So after that was done, and I really wanted to pull all the rock out because there was a lot of Montipora that were encrusted on the base of some of these rocks. There was a lot of acros that had encrusted on the rocks. So I truly felt like if I wanted to start fresh with frags, that I wanted to get all of the encrusted coral off of the rocks, just to make it easier to put frags in the tank to start from scratch, start fresh. So yeah, I took all the rocks out and kind of put them back in piecemeal. So the original Aquascape was not maintained, but that's okay, because on this side of the tank, I wasn't thrilled with the way the Aquascape had come out. It had really favored the other side of the tank, and that was cool. I mean, this tank was kick-ass. I was loving all the large colonies, but on this side, especially the TSA Bill Murray, it dominated this part of the tank, shaded out a bunch of corals. So I was able to have the opportunity to reconfigure a lot of stuff, and I'm just really digging the way this had turned out. So I spent some time about a week ago re-aquascaping this tank, about an hour, hour and a half, and I really don't want to invest too much time in it. This is, for those that don't recall, this is the KP Aquatics live rock. I got this shipped direct to me from KP Aquatics a few years ago. They shipped it in seawater. It came with a bunch of critters, some serpent starfish. One of the serpent starfish is ginormous now. When I was moving the rockwork around, he unearthed himself, and I had to kind of pick him up a couple times. I was afraid he was going to release one of his legs. I believe that's what brittle starfish do. If I'm even correct that it's a brittle starfish. I did not get a video or picture of that starfish, but it was one scary son of a bitch, let me tell you that much. So, yeah, and so the rock came just loaded with life, which was great. But when I put the original Aquascape together, I did not use any putty, I did not use any mortar or super glue. I just placed the rock on top of one another. It was like pretty much two different layers of rock. And the fact that I've got a 20-inch tall tank made that possible. I didn't have to stack a lot of rock, which was great. And that's what I was attempting to do when I rescaped the tank this go around. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. But you know what? I didn't want to obsess over it too much, because if things go right, if things turn out the way I hope they turn out, then you're not going to really be able to see the rock because the coral will be covering the rock. Again, I did not bond the rock together. The last iteration of this tank, the coral's encrusted, bonding the rock together, so it was kind of like that natural glue. So my goal really was to find pieces that would allow for swim throughs like this, where I can get a lot of flow to help move that detritus off the bare bottom tank. So I was able to achieve that with some of these caves. I kind of created some arches on the top here, and the top of the rockwork, again, this is just two layers of rock, but the top is pretty solid. I'm not terribly concerned about rocks toppling over. Like I said, I am counting on the coral to glue everything together eventually. Really just want to plant frags and then sit back and watch things progress. So yeah, right now all I have in here is a couple of LPS. I've got this Jason Fox bug out stylo colony right down here. So I'm gonna give it another few weeks before I start replanting frags. I mentioned in another video, I had an issue with some nitrates and phosphates bottoming out, so I had some corals, frags that lost some color, but not too bad in this system. It was more in the other system. So I just want to give things time to settle down again before I go in and restart the tank. But I don't know, man, I'm just really, really psyched to have this blank slate once again, and just digging the way this thing turned out. So it's gonna be a great canvas for hopefully version number 2 of this tank. Well, that's gonna do it for the update on the Peninsula tank and the new Aquascape. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Until next time, be safe and be well. Later.